السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها فإن كل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة. أعاذنا الله وأجارنا منها. أما بعد, brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum. Today, the Tuesday, 18th of Ramadan, 1446 after Hijrah, which is equivalent, inshallah, to 18th March 2025. We're going to continue, inshallah, with our Tafseer in this mosque that is in the NUC, National Universities Commission, in the heart of Abuja. We seek Allah's help and guidance. And we are still in Surah Al-Baqarah, and we've stopped at verse 227. Allah says you should not use the name of Allah to stop you from doing good. Don't do that. Fear Allah and broker peace amongst people. And when you want to swear using the name of Allah, make sure that what you are saying. We've stopped in at verse 227, inshallah. We heard Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala advising us not to use His name to stop us from doing good. Fear Allah and broker peace amongst people. Don't use Allah's name to swear by Allah that you're not going to do something or you're going to do something, and then you do the opposite. You have to do kafara for that. Kafara for swearing is you either feed 10 people, needy people, or you clothe them enough for them to pray. And if you can't find this, then you fast 3 consecutive days. And another thing, those of you that have sworn not to have any intimacy with your spouses, you have the grace to stay for up to 4 months. And after that, you have to come back and, maintain normal relationship with your spouses. If you come back, then Allah is ever merciful and forgiving. But otherwise, then you have to separate. And if you want to separate, then know Allah that is ever hearing and knowing. Then you can go ahead and separate. But do not use that as an avenue to punish your wives. You are not sleeping with them. It's totally prohibited in Islam. This is one aspect. And another one, Allah says, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم.
Now, Allah says in the Quran, verse 228, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ, those women that have been divorced, يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ, they stay by themselves, ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء, 3 qur. Qur, but from the time of the Sahaba, they have 2 different definitions of what qur means. Qur, according to some Sahaba, means the period between menstruation. So if you say ثلاثة قروء, that is between the first menstruation and the second menstruation, this is 1 qur. And then from the second menstruation to the third period is another qur. From the third to the fourth, then is the third qur. So according to this school of thought, the woman has to do 4 menstrual cycles. But some scholars also, right from the time of the Sahaba, says qur means period. So in this second thought, when she does only 3 menstrual cycles, then she's out of her iddah. So ala ayi hal, on any case, she has to do 3. The sunnah way of divorcing women is 1, she has to have a menstrual cycle and you without having any sexual intercourse with her. After this period, then you divorce her without touching her, without having intimate relationship. This is sunnah. And number 2, you divorce your wife only once, one time at a time. Don't say, I divorce you 3 times in one sitting. No. Only one time at a time. Because we're going to read, Allah says, At-talaqu marratan. The period, how you're going to divorce your wife is you just divorce them one time and then you can take them back, and then you divorce them a second time, and then you can take them back, and that's all. But if you say, I divorce you 3 times, thrice, at a sitting, that means you cannot take her back. Allah knows best. But then this is the second, condition, that you must declare 1 divorce at a time, not 3 divorces. So if you say, I divorce you 2 times, you are still wrong. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, all the companions that divorced their wives 3 in one city, the Prophet ﷺ used to say, take her back, it's just 1. Because Allah says, Al-talaqu marratan. So anything you do outside the book of Allah is invalid. It's not accepted. But during the time of Umar, the same thing with the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and the first 2 years of Umar bin al-Khattab. But then he realized that some of the companions used this as if it's a weapon to punish women. He said, I divorced you 3 times. Then Umar says, people are, hastening in things that Allah said they should take time to do. Allah says, Maratan, you are doing once. Allah says twice. You can divorce your wife once, take her back. Divorce your wife a second time, take her back. But why are you saying, I divorce you 3 in one sitting? He said, from now on, henceforth, whoever says he's divorced his wife 3 in one sitting, then we're going to make it 3. Malikiya, as the Maliki school of thought, the school of jurisprudence, adopted this, that whoever says, I divorce you 3 in one sitting is 3. He will never have the opportunity to take her back until after she's married a second person. But some companions refuse to accept this because they say, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, it was not this. During the time of Abu Bakr al-Siddiq, it was not this. Whoever divorces his wife 3 in one sitting. The Prophet used to say it's 1. Why would somebody now say it's 3? But ala ayyi hal, this is what we call juristic preference. When the authority wants to stamp or stop misappropriation of the law, then it brings another law to enforce it in place of that one. Not that he is changing what Allah has said or the Prophet has said, but he wants us to realize that going astray because we are using the wrong understanding of the law. That's why Umar bin Khattab said, we're going to make it compulsory upon all those that say, I divorce you 3 in one sitting. So to some scholars, Umar was right. Allah knows best. So Allah says, any woman that has been divorced, should wait for 3 periods. ثلاثة قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن. Although it's mentioned in the Quran that the women, the girls and elderly women that have no periods, because they say period, but they do not do period because they are so young, maybe like 8, 9, 10 years. There are some girls that even at 11, 12, they have not started their periods. But there are some that at 11, 12, they have started their periods, depending on the physiology of the woman or girl. Then, what happens if she's been married at a tender age and the husband decides to say, I divorce thee? Maybe he was thinking that he's going to see an elderly woman. Maybe he was shown her picture and he decided to say, yes, I want to marry her. It happens in some cultures. And when you come into newly wedded wife room, then you see a child. You say, no, I don't think I will cooperate with this. I divorce thee. Then the Sharia rulings is what will happen. She's just too young to start menstruation. And Allah says she will just wait for 3 consecutive months. 3 months. That's وَلَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ أَن يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ. And if she is pregnant, any woman that has been divorced during her pregnancy, that means most of them do not see their periods. So what would happen? Allah says, when they deliver the babies, that is the end of their waiting period. So it can be 3 months, it can be more than that, maybe 9 months, depending on the stage of the pregnancy. If it's just maybe a few months, a few days that she's going to deliver, she has done her scanning and everything, maybe it means only 10 or 2 weeks to deliver. That means her idda waiting period is just 2 weeks instead of 3 months or 3 periodic cycle. So those women that are pregnant, their waiting period, differs according to the stage of their pregnancy. So you see, then Allah says, وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ, is haram for them أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ, to conceal the pregnancy in them. There are some women that might be maybe a month or 2 pregnant, and then the husband divorces them, then they will just keep quiet. They will not say they have, they are carrying their babies. Some women are that, crooked or wicked. Subhanallah. Then Allah says it's haram for them to conceal, to just hide that they are carrying the husband's babies. Some, out of hatred, they hate the husband. So they want to take the new pregnancy into a new home and say maybe the second husband has the pregnancy. And this is very wrong in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because many things will go wrong as regards inheritance, as regards privacy, and many other things. I hope it's clear. So she has to confess that yes, she's carrying the old husband's pregnancy, so that he takes care of her till delivery. And even after delivery, he takes care of her and the newborn baby. But if she hides from people that she's carrying the first husband's baby, she's going to take, she's going to change Islamic jurisprudence totally, which is wrong. So Allah says it's not allowed for them to hide, to conceal what they are carrying in their wombs. In kunna yu'minna billahi wal yawmil akhir, as long as they believe in Allah and the last day, they should talk. They should not hide from people. Allah says, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ, and their husbands أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ, have more rights to take them back, to return them back to their homes. Those that have divorced them have more rights than any other person to say, hey, my wife, come back home, I've returned thee. So their parents or their siblings should not come in between the husband that wants to take back their wives and say, no, she's not coming back. No, don't say that. وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا. As long as they want peace, let there be peace. Let them, go back as husbands and wives. It's better than to separate them. It's better to have, because they will raise their children together. It's better than a single parent raising a child. We need, the assistance of the wives and the husbands to raise pious children. Don't allow a single parent to take care of the child. Only the husband without wives. Only the wives without husbands. Children raised without fathers. Most of them end in prison. They become wayward. They become some kind. They are not fully trained. You understand? They are not fully trained. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always wants the couple to remain as one couple. وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. But you should take care of them. Husbands, listen. This is an injunction from Allah. Allah says you should take good care of your wives. Feed them, clothe them. Provide for them, health care and other services. Do everything you can to make them comfortable within your limit. وَمَنْ قُدِرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقُهُ فَلْيُنْفِقْ مِمَّا آتَاهُ اللَّهُ لَا يُكَلِّفُ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِلَّا مَا آتَاهَا سَيَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ بَعْدَ عُسْرٍ يُسْرًا. Everyone should take care of his home in accordance to his ability. Allah says, Allah does not mean that you should just go and kill yourselves just because you want to provide for your family. But it's compulsory you do that. You understand? وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً. And Allah says, but men have a degree higher in responsibility, one or two other responsibilities higher than women. وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ daraja. Women should also know that their husbands have other responsibilities higher or bigger than their own responsibilities. Some scholars say, one, they must obey their husbands. They are the leaders of the home. In Islam, women are not equal to men. In fact, there's nowhere in the whole world, nothing that women are equal to men. No. Women are created separately, with separate functions. Men are created with separate functions. So stay within your boundaries. Don't say what a man can do, a woman can even do better. No, a woman is not a man, and a man is not a woman. But there is what we call equity in Islam, not equality. Nowhere in the world a woman is equal to a man. We are just deceiving ourselves. It's just deception. Women are not equal to men. They should know this, put this into their senses. But yes, the equity, give them what is their right, and then let them give you your own rights. Do not deny them anything that is their right. Allah is saying, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Yes, give them their rights. Give them their rights. But he said, وَلِلْرِجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. But the men have a degree higher than the women's right. They are the leaders. الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ بِمَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ وَبِمَا أَنْفَقُوا مِنْ أَمْوَالِهِمْ. The men are the protectors of women. They are the overseers of women. They are the leaders in the family. Not that they have equal rights. No. The men have more rights than the women. The husbands have more rights than the wives. So the husbands are the leaders. The wife is let's say, the vice president. If the husband is away, then now she's in charge. But as long as the president is around, the vice president just take orders, directives from the president. That is in Islamic setting. Even in conventional setting, that is the truth. All those that are, campaigning that women are equal to men, they are just deceiving themselves and deceiving our women. But every woman should be given her own rights. She must not be denied any of her rights. That is Islam. I know he is my boss, he is my husband, but I too have rights. If he denies me my rights, I have the authority by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to request for my rights. That is understood. Even your children, you have that right, and they can even ask for their rights. There's no way that you can say the child is equal to his father, or the child or daughter is equal to her mother. No. There's no rule that says your daughter is equal to you. No, but she has rights, yes. You too have rights, and you have more rights than her as her mother. Because Allah is saying, وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. So children are not equal to their parents. Equality? No. Equity, yes. They have rights. Children have rights over us, and we have rights also over them. Each of us can ask for his right. Put this straight. This is Islamic setup, not the Western, deception. In fact, even in the West, it's just they are just deceiving themselves. What a man can do, a woman can even do better. No problem. Let her do better, but she should know that the man is the head, is the leader. In every religion, men have been given this leadership role. So Islam is no different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ. Men have a higher degree than women in the marriage setup. Wallahu Azizun Hakim. Allah is Aziz. That is, nobody can escape Allah. Hakim, and in everything He commanded, there is wisdom, whether you know it or not. You might not know the wisdom now, but continue asking and searching. One day you will find the wisdom. Why Allah says, "Ar-rijalu qawwamuna 'ala an-nisa." Allah says what?
الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Alhamdulillah. Allah says, "At-talaqu marratan." You have the opportunity, the right, or the privilege to divorce your wives 1 time, 2 times, and that's all. That is, the divorce that you can take back your wives has only 2 chances. The first one and the second one. Allah says this because He wants to correct one ill of the ignorant period. During ignorance, a person would just say, "I divorce you," to his wife. And when she's about to finish her waiting period, he said, I take you back. Then he says again, "I divorce you." Now she's going to begin the new waiting period afresh. And after some time, maybe she's about to end the waiting period, he said, "I take you back." And then he said, "I divorce you," without taking any responsibility of feeding, clothing, taking care of her health care services, and so on. Such that he has not truly divorced her, that after her waiting period she should go and marry a new husband, and he has not taken her back so that he can take care of her responsibilities. This is Jahiliyyah period. Then somebody wants to do this in Islam, when Allah says, no, don't do this. Women too have rights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke for them. He said, "At-talaqu marratan." You can divorce your wives and take them back only 2 times. So that Jahiliyyah practice has been now abolished. And Allah says, فَإِمْسَاكُمْ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. Now after the second divorce, either you keep them with kindness, take care of them, do everything you can to please them, أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ, or you leave them to go بِإِحْسَانٍ, with kindness. This is the 3rd divorce. You see, in Islam, when somebody divorces his wife 3 times, that is, after the first divorce, he took her back. After the second divorce, he took her back. Then the 3rd divorce, that is the final. That's the final. Now Allah says you can take them back up to the 2nd divorce, at-talaqu marratan. Then after that one, they say, فَإِمْسَاكُمْ بِمَعْرُوفٍ. You either keep them, being kind to them, أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ, or you allow them to go with kindness. So even in Islam, if you want to divorce your wife, women, listen carefully. If a husband wants to divorce his wife, he will not just say, "I divorce you, pack your things up." No, that's not ihsan. Ihsan means, 1, she must have finished her periodical cycle and you have not slept with her. 2, you should just say 1 divorce at a time. And 3, the way you went to their home and brought everything from their family to your home in peace, not in pieces. You have to take her also to her parents. Don't push her out and start, kicking her property, showering abuses upon her and her parents. That is no ihsan. This is the Quran, and most men, go against this Quran injunction. You abuse the wives that you divorced. You abuse their children. You abuse, their parents. You kick their property. You kick them out of your apartment. This is not Islamic setup. No, be ihsan. You understand? Back then, take them home, and then you give them, the best you can. Either money, if you have money, give them money. Yes. Say, I've divorced you and you're going to start a new life. So I know maybe you do not have, enough to cater for yourself. Why don't you take this check, or I will send, like, say, 200 million naira for you, just to start up. That is ihsan. That is ihsan. Not to abuse her and her parents. Allah says, أَوْ تَسْرِحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ, or you leave her finally with ihsan. وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَكُمْ, it's not allowed for you أَن تَأْخُذُوا مِمَّا آتَيْتُمُوهُنَّ شَيْئًا. Everything that we've given them as dowry is haram for you to take it back. Even if you've given them 1 billion naira as dowry, then it's haram for you to take it back. Some will, bring money and other property and then fill it up in the boot of a jeep, and they'll say, plus the jeep is the dowry they have given the wives. If it's so, it's their own possession now, they own it. It's haram for you to take it back. I hope it's clear. Then Allah says, إِلَّا أَن يَخَافَ أَن يُقِيمَ أَلَّا يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. Only if you fear that they are not going to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's injunction. That is the only reason why you can kick them out from the house, say, don't stay here, go back to your home. But as long as it's the first divorce or the second one, they have that right, it's their right to stay in their apartment and stay for their waiting period. But if it's the third one, the last divorce, if you have that opportunity to allow them to stay there, they stay. But if they don't want to stay, they back out. They go to their parents' home or somewhere. This is clear. That Allah said, فَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا يُقِيمَ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. Now, if you fear that they are not going to obey Allah's rules, the wives and the husbands, then Allah said, فَلَا جُنَاحَ عَلَيْهِمَا, then there's no harm for the two of them if that be whatever she gives out as, to free herself. Sometimes women might think that they are oppressed in their marital home. They have cried out several times and nothing has been done. So in this case, if you fear that they are not going to obey Allah's injunction, the two of them, that is, they are going to be cheating on each other, or they are going to do things that might harm or even kill one of them. We have had, cases where spouses have been killing each other. A wife killing her husband. Maybe she has been complaining silently. Nobody answered her. Nobody, helped her. Then she decided to say, let her help herself. She will kill the husband. We don't want that to be happening. It happened here in Nigeria. Wives killing husbands. But why should you husbands wait until your wives kill you? If you realize that there is a change, why don't you change? Divorce her now. Must you live with her to eternity? Separate. Go your separate ways. Let her have a freedom. But if you refuse as a husband, now she has this opportunity to raise her kids to the authorities, her parents or your parents or the judges or rulers, leaders. Then she might raise her kids. Maybe in the next, readings, we're going to discuss extensively on what scholars call khul. Khul'i means the wife will now decide to say, I want to return your dowry so that I have my freedom. Then you have to accept your dowry, and then she goes her way. It's as if she's now the one divorcing you. Subhanallah. Tilka hududullah. These are the rules that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set. These are the boundaries of Allah. Tilka hududullah fala ta'taduha. Do not cross the boundaries. Don't do things that are harmful to each other. وَمَن يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَ اللَّهِ. Whoever crosses the boundaries of Allah, فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الظَّالِمُونَ. Then these are the transgressors. They cheat themselves, and they are going to bear the consequence of that they do, either in this world or in the next, or both. May Allah forgive us our sins and shortcomings. We're going to stop here so that we can attend one or two questions. Without question, maybe I'll just deliver a short nasiha that we pray. So, any question, please? Any question? Ba mai tambaya. Kowa ya gane ke. So duk wanda zai saki matar shi ba cin mutunci, ba zagi, ba kutubalbal da kayanta, ba zagin iyayenta, ba duka. Allah cewa ya a sake su kuma a kyautata musu. Aw tasrihun bi ihsan. Qur'ani ne ce ihsan, ku yi musu ihsani. So ba wai ni bane ba da wani ce ai matan nan an tayo a shari ce ai kaza ce ai kaza ce. It's wrong. When you want to divorce your wives, try to see that you've done good to them. Do good to them. That's Allah's injunction. Make them comfortable in their new life. It's not like the American style that they will say 50-50, whatever you have, you must divide it into two and then let her take half of it. No, it's not that. But then you do what you think that is customarily. Anyone that divorces his wife and has given her this much to start a new life, he has done good to her. And then do that. Maybe 1/3 of your wealth, or even less than that, or even more than that. It depends on, do you understand, what kind of assistance you want to give her. Make her comfortable. Let her start a new life. She has tried for you now. She has done things for you. Maybe she has even given you children. Are you not appreciating? Somebody wants to ask a question here. Yes, thank you.
In a situation where the wife wanted to divorce the husband and returning the dowry, and the husband refused to collect his dowry.
If the husband refuses to collect back his dowry because the wife wants to free herself, what would happen? The judge will force him to collect his dowry. Yes. During the time of the Prophet ﷺ, one woman came and said, that's why I said maybe in the next reading we're going to explain more. This is what is called khul'a. She said, "Oh Prophet, I do not accuse my husband of, laxity in prayer or the fear of Allah or doing this. It's just that I do not love him. There's no that love. Because Allah says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. Before you marry any woman, she must love you. but there's no that love. So I fear that I might, displease Allah because of this husband. Because I'm not going to be submissive to him, obedient to him, and that is displeasing Allah. And Allah might punish me. That's what she said. So I want to go separate paths. Then the Prophet says, are you going to return back his dowry? She said, yes. Now you see, the Prophet didn't ask for the husband's opinion. He said, خُذْ حَدِيقَتَكَ, take back your farm that you have given her as dowry. So in that instance, as long as there's no that love, you don't even ask for his view. Because these are the kinds of women that kill their husbands if you force them to remain with you. Since he said, I don't want to displease Allah, that is, there's something going in my head that I don't want to do it because of this man. So, oh Prophet, separate us. He said, Aturadina hadiqatahu, are you going to return back his farm that he has given you as dowry? He said, yes. He said, Khud, take. He didn't say, are you ready to divorce her or take back? No. Take your dowry back. Because if you refuse, something might happen. So the authorities are going to force him. The judge will say, take back your dowry. Me, I love her. Come on, take back your dowry. Love yourself first. Do you understand? Love yourself. So the answer to that is that even if he's not ready to take back his dowry, he must take it. And then they are going separate ways. Allah knows best. Any other question, please? Somebody was raising his hand. So, Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.